You sent the text an hour ago, or maybe it was yesterday. The message is there, in the cold blue light of your screen, marked delivered, or perhaps even read. And now, there is only silence. And in that silence, your mind, as if it has a will of its own, creates a storm of noise. What did I do wrong? Was it something I said? Is she not interested? Is she busy or is she ignoring me? Should I text again, just to be sure? This internal monologue is a form of self-inflicted torture, a cycle of anxiety that drains your power and your peace. The modern world, with its endless stream of advice, tells you to be persistent, to go get her, to show you care by doubling your efforts. But ancient wisdom, forged in the fires of human experience long before the digital age, offers a different path. A path that is quieter, stronger, and infinitely more powerful. What if the most powerful thing you can do, the one move that shifts the entire dynamic back in your favor, is nothing at all? In this video, we will not just discuss a tactic. We will explore a profound shift in mindset. We will decode exactly what happens psychologically in her mind, and more importantly, in your own, when you learn to embrace the power of disciplined silence. This is not about playing games. It is about reclaiming your own mental sovereignty and understanding the deep currents of human attraction that flow beneath the surface of our daily interactions. Stay with me until the end, because the seventh point reveals the psychological vacuum that silence creates, which almost forces respect to return, changing how she perceives you on a fundamental level. Before we delve into the transformations, we must first understand the problem with noise. When faced with an ambiguous silence, the average man's reaction is to create noise. He sends the follow-up text, "Hey, just checking in." He posts a story on social media he hopes she'll see. He asks his friends for their opinion, rereading the conversation for the 10th time. This is low-value noise. Psychologically, this frantic activity signals neediness. It communicates that your emotional state is dependent on her response. It tells her that you lack other options, that your world has paused, waiting for her to press play. You are, in effect, handing her all of the power in the interaction, training her to believe that your attention is cheap and your time is abundant. You are teaching her that a small amount of her validation is enough to make you work harder. This is a losing strategy, not just in dating, but in life. This is where the Stoic reframe becomes your shield and your sword. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." Her silence is an external circumstance. It is outside of your control. Your response, however, is entirely within your control. The silence we will speak of today is not the childish, manipulative, silent treatment used to punish someone. That is an act of weakness. This is Stoic silence, a strategic, dignified withdrawal of your energy, not to punish her, but to protect your own inner peace and reclaim your frame. It is an act of profound self-respect. It is the quiet assertion that your peace is more valuable than her reply. We will now explore the 10 profound transformations that occur, both internally and externally, when you choose this path of disciplined silence. The first transformation: you shatter her expectations and you break the script. In the world of modern dating, there is an unwritten script. When a woman pulls back, becomes distant, or replies with low effort, the script dictates that the man pushes forward. He asks what's wrong, he tries harder, he seeks reassurance, he chases. This dynamic is so common, so predictable, that it has become an unconscious expectation. Your silence is a pattern interrupt. It is the moment the actor forgets his lines and the entire play grinds to a halt. Imagine this: you've had a good conversation, perhaps even a great date. The next day, you send a thoughtful message, and her reply is a single word, or worse, nothing at all. The reactive man immediately feels a spike of anxiety. His thumbs hover over the keyboard, ready to type, "Is everything okay?" He is following the script. The Stoic man, however, sees the situation for what it is, an external event. He feels the initial sting of disappointment, acknowledges it, and then chooses his response. His response is silence. He puts his phone down and returns his focus to his own life. In her mind, this is a system error. You have deviated from the predictable path. You have gone from being a character in her story to being the author of your own. This simple act of inaction creates a powerful question mark. It makes you intriguing. You are no longer just another man following the same tired script. You are an enigma, and the human mind is compelled to solve enigmas. This leads directly to the second transformation. You trigger her innate curiosity. Human beings are wired with a deep-seated need for closure. We are psychological detectives, constantly seeking to understand the world around us and the motivations of others. An unexplained silence from someone who was previously showing interest is a massive, irresistible open loop. Her brain, which had comfortably categorized you as interested, now has conflicting data. The man who was engaged is now quiet. The man who was available is now absent. This does not compute. Her mind will begin to generate questions automatically. Is he okay? Did I say something wrong? Did he meet someone else? Is he no longer interested in me? Notice how the focus of her thoughts has shifted. When you were chasing, her thoughts were about how to respond to your advances. Now that you are silent, her thoughts are about you. This is a critical reversal of the dynamic. You are occupying her mental real estate, not through force, but through absence. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about observing things as they are, without adding our own judgments. By being silent, you are simply allowing her to observe your absence. You are not manipulating her. You are allowing her own mind's natural curiosity to do the work. Her thoughts will begin to drift toward you with increasing frequency. Not necessarily out of romantic longing at first, but out of a powerful, primal need to solve the puzzle of your sudden change in behavior. The third, and perhaps most important transformation, is internal. You reclaim your emotional sovereignty. Let us be honest with ourselves. The act of constantly checking your phone for a reply is a form of self-inflicted psychological torture. Each time you pick up your phone and see no notification from her, you experience a microdose of rejection. Your brain releases a small amount of cortisol, the stress hormone. You are living in a reactive state, your emotional well-being held hostage by a few pixels on a screen. Choosing silence is an act of detox. It is a declaration of independence. For the first few hours, it will feel difficult. The urge to check to know will be strong. But as you resist that urge, something remarkable happens. You are forcing your brain to find its equilibrium without her validation. You are teaching yourself that you are okay, even if she doesn't reply. This is the core practice of Stoicism, finding your tranquility within. Your peace of mind should never be a rental property owned by someone else. By embracing silence, you are moving it back home, into the fortress of your own mind. The aftermath of this internal shift is profound. Your own anxiety plummets. Your focus, which was scattered and fixated on an external event, returns to your own life, your work, your mission, your physical health. You stop living in a state of reaction and start living in a state of deliberate action. This calm, centered confidence is not a mask you wear. It becomes a genuine part of who you are, and there is nothing more deeply attractive than a man who is at peace with himself. The fourth transformation is a fundamental law of social dynamics. Your perceived value increases through scarcity. In economics, a simple rule governs all transactions. What is scarce is valuable, and what is abundant is cheap. This principle applies just as powerfully to human interaction. When your attention, your time, and your validation are given freely, constantly, and without being earned, they are subconsciously perceived as having low value. You become the free newspaper, available on every corner. When you are silent, you are not being rude. You are demonstrating that your attention is a finite, valuable resource. You become the rare book, kept behind the counter, an object of value and intrigue. The Stoic philosopher Seneca taught that we should value our time above all else, for it is the one thing, once lost, we can never get back. By choosing not to waste your time and emotional energy waiting for a reply, you are sending a powerful, unspoken message. I value my own time. She will subconsciously reevaluate your worth. The thought process is simple and primal. If his time and attention are so scarce, he must be a man of high value. He must have a full, interesting life. He must have other options. This is a fundamental shift in her perception of you, accomplished without you having to say a single word about how busy or important you are. This creates the perfect conditions for the fifth transformation. You give her space to feel your absence. A simple truth is often overlooked in our hyper-connected world. Someone cannot miss you if you are never truly gone. Constant texting, checking in, and chasing creates a suffocating presence. It smothers any chance for the natural feelings of longing and nostalgia to develop. Think about a great movie or a memorable vacation. Part of its power lies in the memory, in the time after the experience when you reflect on it. The same is true for human connection. After a great date or a series of engaging conversations, the time between your interactions is where attraction often solidifies. It is in this space that her mind can replay your conversations, remember your laugh, and feel the emotions you inspired. Your silence creates this essential fertile space. True strength isn't always found in constant action, but in knowing when to be still. The Stoics valued contemplation and reflection. By being silent, you are giving her the space to do the same. About you. The emotional imprint of your positive interactions now has room to breathe and expand. She begins to remember the good feelings associated with you, rather than feeling pressured by your constant digital presence. This is the critical juncture where her initial curiosity can begin to evolve into genuine missing. The sixth transformation is a powerful tool for clarity. You force her to confront her own interest level. As long as you are the one chasing, the dynamic is simple. You are the pursuer, and she is the pursued. She never has to actively decide how she truly feels about you. She only needs to react to your latest effort. Your silence removes all the pressure. It takes the ball from her side of the court and gently places it in her hands. Now there is no text to respond to, no call to ignore. There is only a quiet space. Into this space, a question will arise in her mind. Do I want to talk to him? Do I actually miss him? The absence of your initiative forces her to generate her own. Her action, or her inaction, will reveal her true level of interest with perfect clarity. The Stoics were seekers of truth, even when the truth was uncomfortable. Your silence is a crucible. It burns away ambiguity. If she reaches out, you know her interest has a genuine foundation. If she does not, you have your answer, and you can move on with your dignity intact, having wasted no more of your valuable time and energy. The confusing gray area is eliminated, and you are free to act based on reality, not hope. This brings us to the seventh and most powerful transformation, the culmination of the preceding effects. You create a vacuum of respect. The laws of physics state that nature abhors a vacuum. In social dynamics, a similar principle applies. When a man stops chasing, when he stops seeking validation and approval, and instead embodies a quiet, centered self-respect, he creates a powerful respect vacuum. Others, including the woman in question, are naturally drawn to fill it. Imagine a man who enters a room. He is not loud or boisterous. He doesn't demand attention. He is calm, his posture is relaxed, his focus is on his own purpose. He is a solid object, a gravitational center, and the energy of the room naturally arranges itself around him. He doesn't ask for respect. His very being commands it. Your silence is the first, most crucial step to becoming this man. The philosopher Fyodor Dostoevsky once wrote, "If you want to be respected by others, the great thing is to respect yourself." Your silence, in a situation where you are being ignored, is the ultimate act of self-respect. You are choosing your own dignity over her attention. She feels this shift on a deep, visceral level. You are no longer trying to get something from her. You are not a consumer seeking validation. You are a complete entity on your own. This is the bedrock of genuine, lasting attraction, which can only be built on a foundation of mutual respect, not one-sided neediness. The eighth transformation is a strategic advantage. You regain the power of the first move. By going silent, you effectively press a reset button on the entire interaction. The old dynamic of chaser and chased is erased. If and when communication resumes, it is almost always her who initiates it. This puts you in an incredibly advantageous position. Consider the vast difference in power between these two messages. The first is you after 3 days of silence texting, "Hey, how have you been?" The second is her after 3 days of your silence texting, "Hey, haven't heard from you in a while. Is everything okay?" In the first scenario, you are seeking her attention. In the second, she is seeking yours. In the first, you are the questioner. In the second, you are the one who provides the answers. The Stoic sage knows the value of patience and timing. By waiting, by being silent, you allow the most opportune moment for interaction to present itself, rather than trying to force a connection when the conditions are not right. When you are the one responding, you control the frame. You set the tone. You lead the interaction from a position of relaxed strength, not desperate supplication. The ninth transformation is a gift you give to your future self. You build an unshakable inner fortress. Every time you feel the anxious urge to send that second text and you choose silence instead, you are performing a single rep in the gym of your mind. You are strengthening the muscle of discipline. You are casting a vote for a future version of yourself who is not swayed by the whims of others. The first day of silence is the hardest. The pull of old habits is strong. The third day is noticeably easier. After a week, you might realize you haven't even thought about her reply for hours at a time. You are actively building evidence for your own brain that you are a man who is in control of his impulses. This is the ultimate goal of practical Stoicism. To build an inner citadel, a mental fortress so strong that external events like a delayed text message cannot breach its walls. Her silence, which initially seemed like a source of pain, has become the very training ground for your own resilience. The most beautiful part is that this newfound discipline inevitably spills over into every other area of your life. The man who can master his impulses in dating is the same man who can stick to his workout plan, focus on his deep work, and manage his finances with wisdom. You are not just learning how to handle being ignored. You are learning how to become a more formidable, self-reliant man. Finally, the 10th transformation. You reveal your unspoken standards. Your silence communicates your standards more powerfully and more elegantly than 1,000 words ever could. A long, preachy paragraph about how you deserve to be treated comes across as weak and insecure. A quiet, dignified absence says it all without saying a word. It says, "I am a man who values his time and energy. I engage in enthusiastic, reciprocal communication. I do not participate in one-sided interactions where my effort is not matched." You do not need to have a big talk about communication styles or relationship expectations. Your absence is the message. It teaches her, and just as importantly, it teaches yourself how you expect to be treated. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Your actions, or in this case, your deliberate inaction, define your character and establish your boundaries. The ultimate aftermath is that she understands that access to you, your time, and your attention is a privilege, not a right. And this understanding is the only foundation upon which a healthy, balanced relationship built on mutual respect can ever be constructed. So, we see that silence is not an empty space. It is not a void. It is an active force. It is a tool of clarification, a catalyst for attraction, and a crucible for your own character. It transforms you from a reactor, buffeted by the winds of external validation, to an actor, standing firm in your own frame. It turns her initial curiosity into genuine respect. And most importantly, it brings you back to your own center, back to the inner citadel where your true peace and your true power have resided all along. You broke the script, you triggered her curiosity, you reclaimed your peace, you increased your value, and you built the foundations of unshakable self-respect. The path of Stoic silence is a discipline. Like any skill, it requires practice. Start small. The next time you feel that familiar pang of anxiety, that desperate urge to double text or seek reassurance, simply take a breath. Put the phone down, and choose your own tranquility for the next hour. See how it feels. You will find that the world does not end. In fact, your world becomes more your own. If this guide has provided you with value and a new framework for building strength and dignity in your relationships, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. We are dedicated to exploring this timeless wisdom for the challenges of the modern man. Now that you understand the immense power of your silence, it is crucial to understand what is likely happening in her mind, day by day, during that silence. To see that breakdown, you must watch the next video that is appearing on your screen now. It is titled, "She'll Miss You Badly When You Do These 5 Stoic Moves." It is the perfect next step on this journey of self-mastery. Click and watch it now.